Hi, everyone. Well, we've been through a pretty rough year, and it isn't over yet. There is a vaccine coming, hopefully, that'll help a great deal, but 2020 has been a really rough year. I want to read today a passage from Luke chapter 21 for my Advent text. Advent, for a lot of Christians, has just become a time when we're preparing for Christmas. But that's not what Advent is about. Advent is about how God advents into our lives and the ways that He has come into our lives. God has come into our lives. And those ways are His prophets and, Jesus in His birth. So that's kind of the end of Advent, that we looked at His birth. But also His second coming and His presence with the Jews throughout all of history. All those things are how God comes to us. In this text, Jesus is predicting what will happen to Jerusalem and what actually did happen in Jerusalem in 70 A.D. Jerusalem, finally the Romans had enough with Jews causing problems, and they just came in and wiped everything out. They cleared out the temple, and they cleared Jerusalem, and it was really a rough time for Jews at the time, and Jesus predicts that. But then at the end of the prediction, He talks about His second coming on a cloud, and then He tells us to hold fast. So here it is. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation has come near. Then those in Judah must flee to the mountains, and those inside the city must leave, and those in the country must not enter it. For these are days of vengeance, as the fulfillment of all that is written. Woe to those who are pregnant, and to those who are nursing infants in those days, for there will be great darkness on the earth, and wrath against the people. They will fall by the edge of the sword, and be taken away as captives among all nations. And Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. There will be signs on the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the earth, distress among the nations, confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Now Jesus is going to kind of refer back to His coming. He says, then they will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory. Now, when these things begin to take place, stand up and raise your hands, because your redemption is drawing near. So even in the midst of all this trouble, there's a time when we stand up and we thank God that God has rescued us as He has. So, even though this is difficult times, and who knows how all this is going to end, Advent tells us that Jesus, God, is going to be the victor in the end, one way or the other, and that God will be with us always through this whole time. It's just maybe enough. I remember when I would go into, as a chaplain, I went into a lot of homes of people who had just died. Maybe it was a father, maybe it was a mother, maybe it was even a child that had just died. And there was a difference between Christian and non-Christian homes. It was devastating in both homes. It was awful in both homes. It was difficult in both homes. But in Christian homes, there was something there. There was a base that held those people up. Even though it was awful and terrible, there was a base that held them up, that kept them going, that gave them hope, that life wasn't just death, but something more. And I think that's kind of what this passage is saying too, that no matter how bad times get, there's something we have, a strength, a power, a presence, a God, life forever, that is the base of who we are, Jesus Christ, who helps us through every difficult situation. May that God, Jesus Christ, be with you in your difficult situations, no matter what they are. God bless, and have a good day.